So, you guys ready to hear the truth about SHTF? Because I'm going to lay some truth on you today. You may believe it, you may not believe it, you may agree with me, you may not. But hey, let's talk about it. There's a storm coming. Y'all need to get ready. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Zone. Shady here. If it's your first time here on the channel, look, I'd really appreciate it if you went up there, clicked on that subscribe button, maybe hit that bell so you can get notifications when we do new videos. For all my shady folks, welcome back. Appreciate all the support. Glad you're here. You might notice a couple of things different about this video. For one thing, the studio looks a little bit different. We're using a different camera this time around. Going to see how it goes. Also, I got the shades back on, and I'll tell you why, and it's relevant to what we're going to be talking about here in a few minutes. You see, when I first started doing videos, back on Rumble a couple of years ago, and I still do them today, but I did a lot of them back then too. I did what I call truck cuts. Now, I would sit in my truck and I would have my shades on, have my cap on, maybe have a soda, and I would talk about the subject that I wanted to talk about. Now, I did one of these videos on werewolf preppers, and if you go over to Rumble, you can see it. It's still up over there. And being a new creator and wanting what every creator wants, I wanted to get my videos out there. I wanted to grow an audience. I wanted to get some subscribers. So I would post my videos on social media. I'd leave a link to my video on social media. And one of the social media platforms that I would use was Facebook. Let me tell you something, Scooter. Facebook is not the social media platform that you want to use to promote your videos unless you already have some sort of following. Because people over there, especially if you send it out to a lot of people, you like pay $20 and Facebook will put it out everywhere. If you do something like that, you're going to get a lot of people that they can't argue your point with you. They can't come up with anything, against what you're saying. So they attack you personally. And I got all these comments like, how come it is that all you preppers always do your videos in your trucks? Does your wife just not let you in the house? Or why do you preppers always wear shades? It's stupid things like that. I mean, I got one of them. This was before I'd had my oral surgery and got my stuff all fixed, but I had one comment that said, nice tooth. And being new, I took this stuff to heart, okay? It bothered me. I took the comments down, the whole 9 yards. I never brought those videos over to YouTube, the whole thing like that. And then one day I realized something. I realized that I was being manipulated. I was trying to change myself to appease other people. I realized the truth, and the more I thought about it, the more the truth I realized. Because each and every one of us, you, me, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what color your skin is. Doesn't matter what political affiliation you have. It doesn't matter what religion you are. Hell, it don't even matter what country you're from. Each and every one of us are being manipulated on a daily basis. We have been lied to, we have been brainwashed, and we have been manipulated, deceived for probably 80 years because this all started back in World War II, believe it or not. I mean, World War II, we got involved in it because Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. You know the story of World War II. Every able-bodied man that could go over there was over there fighting. And the government, and I'm going to use the term the government, because I don't really want to go into all the alphabet agencies that are involved in this, but you know those as well. The government realized that, for one thing, we had to win the war. And to do that, we needed a little kick in the pants. We needed somebody to put a boot up our ass. So, propaganda was born. Every time you went to a movie, there was always a newsreel right before the movie. And that newsreel would show film of our brave boys over on the front lines in Europe or Iwo Jima or wherever they were. Those newsreels would show the awesome power of our Navy, um, and how we were kicking Japan's ass in the Pacific. All these things just geared toward patriotism, geared toward giving Americans that spirit that we had to win. You know, you'd pick up a newspaper, you'd pick up a magazine. Who can forget some of the posters and some of the, the full page posters that were in newspapers or on the cover of magazines? I mean, Rosie the Riveter, probably the most iconic World War II poster ever. And there was a bunch of other ones. But they kept feeding us this propaganda and feeding us this propaganda and feeding it to us. And guess what? It worked. Okay? We won the war. We dropped 2 atomic weapons on Japan. Japan surrendered almost immediately. And not too long after that, Italy and Nazi Germany fell in line. The war was over. And we had no boogeyman. We had no enemy. We had nobody to fight. All of a sudden, everybody was coming home and, hey, making babies. I'm a result. I'm the last of the baby boomers. Excuse me. But, the thing about it is not too long after World War II, Russia became the Soviet Union, the USSR. And all of a sudden, America had a new boogeyman to fight. Communism. Because communism was evil and it was everywhere. It was lurking behind every damn corner. It was down every dark alley. There were communists everywhere. And we needed something to fight that. So, I said I wasn't going to name them, but the CIA was in its infancy back then, and its sole purpose was to fight communism, to root out the communists in this country, to find out where their bases were in other countries, to totally destroy communism. So, what did they do? We're going to go back to the government. What did the government do? Well, the government got a hold of certain reporters, certain newsmen, and they would feed them fake stories. Fake news, even back then, the early 1950s. Fake news. And they would do this because these people they were reputable. They had a reputation, and they were good journalists. And the government knew that AP and all the other news organizations would pick up on these stories, and they would spread them everywhere. And the more that a story got told and the more it got spread, the more believable it was. And God only knows how much bullshit was put out during that time that we believed. I mean, some of this stuff has been exposed, some of it has not. The thing about it is the government was learning that it could manipulate people. That it could, if it told something enough times, like I said, people would accept it for the truth. Then, that was called Operation Mockingbird, by the way. And it branched off into all kinds of other things, including experimenting on people and things like that with drugs like LSD. And that's a whole nother video, or that's part of this one. That's just a deeper part of the rabbit hole. But then the government got into Hollywood. They thought, well, if we can do this through the news service, imagine what we can do through entertainment. They started manipulating movies. They started manipulating producers and directors. They would tell people, yeah, you can use our facility, you can use our equipment, but we have to have a say-so on what's going on in your movie. And if you notice, it was around probably the late 1960s, the 1970s, that our idea of a hero changed. I mean, it was no longer the cowboy in the white hat that would ride into town on the white horse and save the day and have the nice smile, and always get the girl. We had what became known as the anti-hero, and there were a lot of them. And I mean, God knows I love Dirty Harry as much as the next person, but if you've ever watched a Dirty Harry movie, you know that the anti-hero, not just Dirty Harry specifically, but the anti-hero in general, was the kind of hero that it didn't matter if you broke the law a little bit. It didn't matter if you bent the rules a little bit, as long as you got the bad guy. And I mean, that was just one of the things that they started doing. They started changing our perception on what a hero was. They started changing the way we thought about the law. It's okay to break the law as long as you accomplish what you're trying to do. You see where I'm going with this? And another thing, just kind of off the real subject, but off of it, still has to do with it, was, if you remember, back in the 1950s, 1960s, if you saw a sci-fi movie about aliens, 9 times out of 10, aliens bad. Aliens come to destroy planet. There were very few movies that the aliens were the good guys or anything like that. And, to a certain point, that trend stayed on, but that went more toward horror. Once you got into the sci-fi part of it, you had movies like E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, to where, the alien's just this little gray dude with a big pumpkin head and big eyes, and he's cute and he's friendly and this and that. No, they even started changing our perception on that. Changing people's perceptions is exactly what they were trying to do, because they wanted people to believe a certain way, just like today. We all get up every morning and we think that we're free. We think that we have rights. You don't. You have just enough rights these days, just enough freedom to continue the illusion that you're free, to continue the illusion that your voice means something. A lot of people are waking up and realizing that their voice really doesn't mean anything, especially after the last election. But you're enslaved and you don't even know it. It's almost like we live in the Matrix right now. You get up in the morning, alarm clock warning, just to quote an old song, but you get up every morning and you jump into the shower, probably using a soap and a shampoo and shaving, cream and things like that you believe are the best out there, or the best that you can afford, because it's been pounded into your head and pounded into your head and pounded into your head that Irish Spring makes you smell great. You shower with water that people have charged you for. You don't even think about it. I mean, probably the most abundant element on this planet, water, and you're being charged for it, and they say, oh, well, we have to charge you to purify that water. We have to charge you to get that water to you. They charge you for the water. Then you get out of that shower and you put your clothes on, and you put on clothes that you have been conditioned to believe make you look good, make you look professional. You go into your kitchen, hopefully, and you fix you a cup of coffee, maybe you fix a smoothie, but you fix a cup of coffee and use a brand coffee that you have been told is the best coffee out there, the richest kind, all that good stuff. Or you make that smoothie and you put stuff in that smoothie because you have been told that this stuff will make you healthy. And yeah, a lot of the times the stuff that you put in that smoothie will make you healthy. But still, you do it because you've seen it somewhere, you've heard it somewhere. You've been manipulated into believing this. Then you go out to your car or your truck, your vehicle. Hopefully it's not electric. But you go out to your vehicle that you're paying for still, that you will be paying for probably the next 10 years, or that you've leased for a certain amount of money, which is like renting a house, and that you have paid taxes on to license that car, to have that car inspected. You get into that car and you drive to a job that, do you really love your job? Some people do. I'm at the point in my life where I enjoy what I do for a living these days. But you go to a job, most people go to a job that they hate, and they work 8, 10, 12 hours a day. For what? To make more money, to go back, to buy more of those things that you've been conditioned into believing that you need. You're driving the best truck that you can drive. You're drinking that coffee that you've been told is the best. You're going to restaurants to eat that you've been told are the best restaurant in town. All the while, you're paying taxes on every single thing that you're doing for the most part. But yet you have this illusion that you're free. You have this illusion that you have rights up until something like, that thing that happened a year or two ago happened, and then you find out just how many rights you really had. You got the right to go to the liquor store. You got the right to go to the pot shop, but you don't have the right to go to church and worship your God. We get up every day and we believe that the left is evil, the right is evil. Folks, I'm telling you, I've said this 100 times in other videos. You got a right wing, you got a left wing, and in the middle you got the same dirty damn bird. And don't think that this just happens here in America. This happens all over the world. You don't think that over in Moscow that the TV over there doesn't just feed the people of Russia that Americans are evil? You don't believe that? Because it does. Just like our TV, just like everything in America has taught us that Russia is evil. And it was a very good point that was brought up on another chat that, the old USSR, the Soviet Socialist, the United Social, Russia, the old communist Russia, was evil. Okay? Communism is not good. However, Russia is not the USSR anymore. Russia today, and don't get me wrong, folks, I'm not this supporter of Putin, okay? I don't need men in black suits knocking on my door. That's going to happen soon enough. But Russia, in a lot of ways today, is a lot like America used to be. They're patriotic. They're very nationalized, okay? It's not an ideal country by any means, but you look at them, they claim to be a Christian country, and they back that. America doesn't even, up until a few years ago, America said that they were a Christian country. Now, we don't even claim that anymore. This whole thing is a huge, I'm just going to say it, it's a huge mind fuck. That the powers that be, and like I said, this goes beyond government. This is a huge thing to manipulate us, to turn us against each other, and to weaken us. And what for? Well, I think we all know what for. I mean, people, I hear it all the time. When is shit going to hit the fan? I'm tired of waiting on shit. Yeah, I'm tired of waiting for SHTF to happen. When is this just going to happen so we can get it over with? Well, that's the thing. You think that this is all going to just happen. This has been gradually happening for the past 80 years. Okay? This is all a huge setup. It's a huge deception. It's all designed to tear us apart, to make us weak, so we can fall a lot quicker. Now, like I said at the first of the video, guys, this is the video that I have wanted to do for a long, long time, and I have just not known how to say the things that I want to say. And I'll be totally honest with you. I came down here tonight doing this video, and I started it over probably 6 or 7 times because I just didn't know how to put it into words. But the thing about it is, the quicker that we take a step back and realize exactly what is going on in this world, the quicker we're going to gain the knowledge to hopefully, maybe, be able to survive what's coming in the future. Because the future, if what I believe is true, the future is a situation that when the shit hits the fan, when it culminates, there won't be any winners. You might, I'm just going to say it, you're probably not going to survive it. Especially, and I'm not the kind of person to beat anybody over the head with a Bible, but I'm telling you something right now. Every single thing that you're seeing going on right now was predicted in the Bible thousands of years ago. The thing about it is, one of those things that has deceived us, and this is a popular saying, that Satan's greatest feat was to convince us that he didn't exist. People don't believe in Satan these days. People don't believe in God these days. But all this stuff was predicted. Every single thing. And years ago, when people used to talk about it, they would say that, the apostles and the saints, when they wrote things about the future, that they were putting it into words that they could understand, or that other people could understand, because they didn't know what an Apache helicopter looked like, or they didn't know this, or they didn't know that. So there's all these creepy things in prophecy that people just said, well, that was just that was them explaining it the best way they could. Well, let's take a look at AI these days. Let's take a look at where that's going. Let's take a look at the internet. Let's take a look at where that's going. Do you really think that they were that far off? And I'm like I said, I don't want to beat anybody over the head with the Bible. I'm not going to. I've got my own issues that I have to take care of with the man upstairs. It's not up to me to, be the guy in sackcloth standing on a soapbox on the corner saying it's the end of the world and I'm a perfect person and you should follow me. But I'm just saying the things that I was taught in Sunday school when I was a kid, and the things that I learned in a little bit of college that I did to be a minister, those things that were Bible prophecy back then are front page news right now. And if you don't believe it, then go back. Do yourself a favor. Just take a minute. Go back. Read some of it. Go look at some YouTube videos on it. If you don't want to pick up a Bible and read it, go pick out some YouTube videos and just watch them and see what these people are saying. Is there a solution to this? Maybe. I don't know. But I will say this. The sooner people realize what's going on, like I said a while ago, then maybe the sooner we'll be able to at least survive what's going on. We're not going to beat it, but maybe we'll survive it. I hate to end this video on such a dull down note like that, but guys, y'all, we need to wake up. We need to realize that there's something out there. You can call it the New World Order, you can call it the Illuminati, you can call it the World Economic Forum, whatever you want to call it. There's something behind what's going on in this world today, and it goes beyond government. It goes beyond presidents, and it goes beyond kings. It goes beyond all that. It could be Satan. It could be aliens for all I know. But I just know that we have been manipulated. We have been brainwashed. And the sooner we come to terms with that, the better. And that's the truth about SHTF. That is the real SHTF. Y'all take care of each other. I'll see you on the next video. God bless. There's a storm coming. Y'all need to get ready.